Yeah. What does she say to her husband? Do you remember what she says? Yes?
We know who this man is. He could be a murderer. He could be a thief.
Right. All those things. A murderer, a thief, all this stuff, you know. And you didn't ask him. And then she says something like, that's just like you. Yeah, that's just like you. And that's kind of like a foreshadowing thing, isn't it? Because how is their relationship through the story, the husband and the wife here? It's kind of spotty. There's some things that are not quite right. But does the wife change her mind about how she's treating the stranger? But what does she do?
She decides to ask if he wants to come in.
Yeah. And then she kind of blames her husband for that too, in a way, Well, why didn't you invite him in? That's just like you, not to. And the husband says, "Well, I did invite him, but he didn't want to come in." So, and then he comes in, and that's when they start really kind of getting strange vibes from him. How does the stranger react when the father tells him the visit is over? What does the stranger do? You remember? Yeah. Yeah, he's like emotionally taken. He's surprised by it. He touches the guy for a second, like it's like a jolt almost, and he's very upset about that when the visit is over. And why? What was the thing that made the visit be over for the dad when he finally had to step in and do something about it? Do you remember? Where was the stranger at that time? In his old room, but who else was there also? The son was in there. And then this, what did the stranger do with the son? Showed him something? Yes? He was showing him something. It was infinity, right?
Yeah.
He was showing him how to draw infinity. And why do you suppose the word infinity is there? Why is he showing him infinity? What? Infinite realities. And what is this guy? He's coming back, And the idea is that we're kind of stretching time here. Infinity goes on, and different people, different times. This is our place and time here, but it's kind of stretching things a little bit. And that's kind of the last straw for the father. He says, "All right, that's enough. I mean, it's time to call the visit short here." How do the rooms of the house seem changed after the stranger's visit? Yes?
Like the door frame was like a different, she misjudged it and almost fell over it.
Why do you suppose that happens? Especially after this little encounter. Yeah?
I'm thinking maybe when the stranger came in and when he left, I guess, I don't know if he has powers or, I think my thing is when he left, the house started to change back to one a little bit.
It might, there's a kind of this almost organic thing that happens to the house.
I think maybe like the parents and the family were just like a little bit flustered about like what happened, and now they're just like trying to decompress, but just like what happened.
Yeah. Exactly. Everybody's kind of upset. Like, is this our house, really? Is it his house? What is it? What's going on? What about the references to the ghost aspect? Is he a ghost, do you think? Could he possibly be a ghost? Yeah.
The mom was like, is your mom dead? And he was like, yeah, they've been dead for a long time.
Wasn't that interesting the way he phrased that? And let's take a look at that. The mother said, as if she said something mildly preposterous. "I'm sorry," the mother said. "Please don't be," the stranger said. "We've all been dead. They've all been dead a long time." Isn't that a strange way to put that, Another reference to the ghostly aspect on page 74. Nothing but his reflection bobbed in the glass, ghostly and insubstantial. He groped against the walls. Okay? There's this whole thing of ghost things going on. And also, toward the end, when he looks at the wallpaper, the house seems to change. Everything gets a little drabber, doesn't it? It's a little more drab. The colors kind of drain out of things. And he says, in the living room we saw that the lights were flickering as if on the brink of going out. Everything gets dimmer. The patterned wallpaper seemed drained of color. A shadow lay upon it shaped like a bulbous cloud or growth. What else is shaped like a bulbous cloud? What?
What's a bulbous cloud?
A bulbous cloud. What would be a bulbous cloud? Describe it. Anybody describe it? Yeah, it's kind of diaphanous almost, bulbous, sticking up. And what's kind of a bulbous cloud? A ghost. A ghost. So it's like seeing a ghost again, and everything's kind of draining the color. Remember how the house was described as having the bright green carpeting at the beginning and all that? And they're kind of wondering who they are and where they are in this place. The universe is kind of different to them. The aspect that might make you reconsider the ghost thing is the touch, the feel. Can you touch a ghost? And reports are that, you ever heard of Resurrection Mary?
Yes.
The ghost that appeared to the guy, and he was danced with her all night, and they even made out with Resurrection Mary before he drops her off in the cemetery, and she goes in through the gates, and she's gone, and she's a ghost. So is it possible for ghosts to sort of get that human characteristic again? We don't know. Nobody knows, but it's kind of the feeling is there. What about the wife, the husband and wife at this point? She says, I wasn't the one who opened the door to that man in the first place.